Hey everyone, we are back on the live, and I'm here with Miss TeeCee. Okore. TeeCee, do I ever say your name wrong? I'll be like Okore. Um, it could be super different, y'all. I've never.
Don't worry. I get it. I get it. Anyhow you say it is fine. I get the intention.
Okore.
It's the intention that matters.
TeeCee never corrects me. But I'm Allegra Jackson, the marketing medulla, and we are here in this space for you all to make sure you have this wonderful knowledge and content information about effortless marketing. We talk about creating lead magnets here. Last week was really interesting because we did break down the difference between that lead magnet versus lead generation, and then we really dug a little deeper into things. And then this week we really focused a little bit more around creating, lifestyle content that actually, mimics your life, mimics things that you're doing already. And this is something I want to talk about today because it's very effortless. It's very simple. It's super exciting too, because you don't have to, reinvent yourself or make anything different. You're just who you are. And what some of the examples that we were just talking about before we got on this live, I was just really like thinking about it while I was talking to UTC. I was kind of going through my brain, and I'm also looking at other names of celebrities and people that come to mind when we talk about this effortless marketing. And we also just made a really good point, y'all. And listen, like, stay tuned, right? Listen to this whole entire live because, and y'all, hashtag replay if you're on the replay. I want to see, who's listening to the replays. But I just think it's so interesting because, people use marketing all the time to boost sales. And we, take it for granted that is what marketing is there to do. When we were talking yesterday, we were saying, what's the definition of marketing? Okay, well, it is the ability to provide services and products for customers who need and want them. Super simple. And it's not, it encompasses so many different things. And that's why you have to understand your brand, define who you are as brand, define your business and your organization. That's why we do business planning. And then also making sure that you have marketing strategies that really wrap around all of those ideas. And we're going to talk about some big examples today because I just thought about like two more really great examples. But TeeCee, please introduce yourself and tell us, what your thoughts are on our conversation today, and we'll get started.
I love it. Hey everyone, good morning. Happy New Month. So I'm working on actually putting out a very short reel of something, and it's kind of funny when I thought about it, but look out for it, okay? Because you need to hear it, okay? But yes, my name is TeeCee. I'm a launch and sales automation strategist. I'm really all about ensuring that you're attracting the right people. You are able to not only attract them, convert them, basically get them into that space where you are repeatedly converting them into paying customers. Now, the truth is, with the systems that I built for you, the funnels, the launches, all of these things, like, they're great tools, resources that you need for that next level in your business. But the truth is, there's something that's constant in all of these things that I just made mention of. That's lead generation, right? And I feel like lead generation is that concept that I feel that has been unnecessarily beaten down, because then we want to look at lead generation as this, when lead generation is literally this, right? Lead generation is you, right? Lead generation is you leveraging what you have to connecting with the people that you want to work with, people that you want to have in your community. And so yesterday's live, we do like this Instagram live every Wednesday, 10 a.m. Eastern time on Instagram, right? Now, something led to something, right? And we just found ourselves talking about how easily, right, since we're talking about effortless marketing, how easily we can infuse and integrate our lifestyles into our marketing campaigns, into our lead generation process. So it's seamless, because most times when we think about marketing, people are like, oh, not again. Now, it's difficult for you and it feels so stressful is because you get to overthink things, right? So Allegra literally got people's attention with her very cute niece, and we realized that, hey, this is one smooth way. Allegra is like chocolate. Now, this is one smooth way to create content without feeling like you're either going to be missing out on maybe activities that really matter to you, or she said something about going out last night and, oh, I could have created this video, I could have done this. Like, literally, you can build your entire lead generation process around you, right? Because the truth is, at the end of the day, especially if you're a solopreneur, and even as a brand, right, we are buying you, we're buying what you represent, we're buying what we feel about you. It's not what you're telling us, right? It's how we feel about you. That's what we are buying. So you want to work around what you have, leverage it, and which is what you have. Basically, what every one of us have is our lifestyles, right? Now, basically, today we're going to be talking about how we can seamlessly incorporate, right, our lifestyles into our lead generation process to ensure that we have that effortless marketing that we keep talking about. So yes, that's a rundown, right, of what to expect. But this one I'm going to tell you, right? Drop your questions. I'm literally looking at my phone to see if I'm going to get any questions. But drop your questions in the comments. Allegra would, pick it up, and if I see any from my end, I would definitely pick it up as well. Yeah, that's really. I'm really excited, y'all. I think I see Allegra. Yeah, over to you, Allegra.
Yeah, I just shared the live to everyone in the Facebook group. Hey, Sarah, thank you for your hearts. I'm being very intentional today because I'm looking at everyone and what you're doing. I really feel that, TeeCee, you made such great points yesterday, and today we're going to talk a little deeper about it, because I really honor the easy lifestyle. And something you said is like overcomplication. That is a big thing. And as I was speaking, like yesterday, we had I had my first introductory meetings with the Win Turns. Really excited for y'all. And I have Faith and Choi Nam, and they were really good, y'all. Like, they're really, really inspiring. And but the conversations I was having, we talk to the youth because not only do we want to make sure we uplift them, but we also learn from them. And I'm thinking, tell me what it is that you see in the market. Tell me what it is that you see in your experiences. And so one of our interns, she said to me, Allegra, my mom owns a store, and I see her working really diligently every single day. She said it's a really small store. It's nothing huge, and it's not immensely profitable, but it makes money, right? And she said that some of the things that she's doing is she's going to school, she's going to get her master's next, and she's really excited to be able to learn new things because the market is always changing, and you have to be able to know how to kind of go with the changes and not stress out. And that's really what we're talking about, because when she was giving me examples of like some of the things that they would do in their marketing campaigns, and I would say, wow, like that looks like you're mimicking a really large company in what you've seen them do. And that's what we do a lot. Like, we mimic large companies and what we see them do. And so I want to also talk about, large entities, because we do have individuals like that we were talking about a second ago that have large entities that are brand representations of exactly what we're saying. Being able to run a business, but use your lifestyle in a way to make sure that that business consistently makes money. Okay. And let me give you the examples that was coming up for me, because I was really like, man, like this is so easy. And when my niece came on the live yesterday, some of the things that, could have came up for someone, like if if you're introverted or insecure, or if you don't feel good about whatever, like my niece, her hair wasn't done right, like, and so I could have easily been freaking out, like, do not come on this live, like, and a lot of times I think that that's where a lot of our hesitations come from, because we're not perfect in our everyday lives. And so when we have to show those imperfections, we become blocked, because we're just like, okay, I can't do it. Like, I have to figure out another way to get this done. And at that point, you're missing out on leads every single day. You don't show up every single day. You don't, put out content every single day. You don't, like, sometimes, TeeCee, I think about the lives that I've done and the content that I've done over the past 3 years, and it's immense. We've done lot of content. Like, it's crazy how much content we've done. It's so much content that sometimes I think I'm crazy, because I'm like, am I really like getting like, do I need this much content to get the results I'm getting, right? And then I look at it and I say, you know what? I'm not creating content just to make money all the time, right? Because that's going to happen. I'm creating content because people in the world are so lost. They need the education. And, you know, if you're going to be on YouTube University, I'd rather you listen to me tell you the real deal. I'd rather you listen to me talk about what is really going on when it comes to being a mompreneur, you know, having your family, and also utilizing them as a support system for your lead generation process. And the one example that came up, TeeCee, was Oprah, right? Like, I remember back in the day when I first found out about Oprah. It wasn't because, you know, she had a TV show and I was like, oh my God, I just love your TV show. No, it was her story, right? She was talking about how, you know, people didn't like her, how, you know, and so she had this momentum where she went around and she was like telling her story like she was being interviewed. And people don't realize that, like, when we turn down like podcasts, or when we don't show up for like opportunities, like there are opportunities in TV and radio, right? There are opportunities even here on these lives where you can get on a live on any of the live streams that you have, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever, and actually tell your story. People are afraid to do that, but that is a process of the lead generation sales process, of the sales funnel. Because if you have people that don't know who you are and they now find out who you are, what's the next thing they're going to do? They're going to be like, let me find out more. Like, let me see, you know, what she's talking about. Like, she went through that, you know, or she's this way. I resonate with that. So, you know, you find that that has worked time and time again. And so effortlessly using that same strategy and incorporating it into your structure is really genius. And so we're not mimicking what we see, right? We're modeling what we see. And I'll stop with this part and I'll see what TeeCee has to say, because when we talk about lead generation, like I talked about the color purple, and y'all gonna kill me for this, Jesus. I gotta pray about stuff sometimes, like in a moment, because when I say things, people take it a certain way and they be like, Allegra. And I'm like, yes, like it is what it is. I watched The Color Purple, y'all, and I was really amped about it. Like, I was like, oh, I remember the old Color Purple. It was the bomb. You know, I watched reels of people doing the remakes, and I watched Oprah show up on TV stations and shows and do her own marketing within, you know, her database, where she was like showing up in her same office building in different places where they were doing like the cover of the magazine with her picture on it. And so we saw everything. We saw all the behind the scenes. We even saw the fights. We even saw where Taraji P. Henson was like, we don't get paid enough. They didn't have our dressing rooms ready, right? And Oprah sitting on the sidelines like, okay, you know. And so we saw the drama. We saw, you know, the little girl on Instagram that, you know, did the remake of The Color Purple, and now she got flown out to meet Oprah, right? Like, that's a whole story in the marketing campaign that all they did was tell somebody, hey, we're going to fly you out to meet Oprah. This is what we want you to do. And that became part of the campaign. And so when we think about our lives and our businesses and things that we do, we got to utilize those same type of avenues. And that's why knowing the customers that you're targeting, knowing what kind of lead generation process you really want to go through, because there's so many avenues, that is where people get stuck and need the guidance. And so I want to stop there, TeeCee, because I'm telling you, when I saw the movie, I was totally disappointed. I was like, all that buildup, all of that marketing, and it was good marketing, honey child. When I say, and I'll give y'all some more examples, but that was some good marketing. And I know what TeeCee is going to say, but I kind of was a little disappointed, you know, at the end of it. And but I will congratulate the queens, because I always celebrate women who are empowering other women, who are doing their thing out there. But I will tell you when I think something sucks, and I just did not feel like it was, I think it was just so built up, but it just didn't give me the bang that I needed when I actually saw the movie. So I'll stop there. They got their money. That's all that mattered, right? So go ahead, TC, you got it.
I'm not it's not like I'm going to like bait on um the Color Purple movie, but you're right, right? And like I said, I you see every time I see like really good high end, um marketing, I always give it up for them. It's the same thing that happened with Barbie, right? Lord, their marketing was like so you see the reason I obviously y'all don't come for me, but the reason why I saw Barbie was not because I was expecting anything, but you see the hype, the marketing, like it was. I had to go see the movie to learn the marketing. Like my mind was playing so much tricks on me. I'm like, girl, you need to go see this movie. Like I literally went to see. I went to the cinemas with my notepad and my pen. Like I was serious. Like I went with a notepad and my pen. I'm like, I want to go take notes because there was a lesson at every scenario. And that is, you see, as business owners, as entrepreneurs, as marketers, as salespersons, that should be what we're looking out for. However, right, we want to be able to recreate it. Right now, what we're doing is not to tell ourselves, oh no, I can't do this, or oh no, it's just using what you have, right, in getting what you want. The question is, what would people want to see, right? Give them what they want to see, and then put your messaging in it. See, when you evoke the emotions and the desires of people, people will rush at you, right? Because there are different reasons why people buy from you, right? Some people, okay, so I'm going to take it this down. Let's leave the movie scene. Let's take this down to coaching, consulting. Not everyone that signs up on Allegra's program is actually interested in learning. Now, they don't necessarily want to sign up on Allegra's program because they feel like they have, you know they feel like they need like support, right, in that regards where Allegra is thinking it. Some people might sign up for Allegra's program because they want to replicate Allegra's program. Some people might sign up for Allegra's program because they want to learn her process. Some people might sign up for your lead magnets because they want to see how you do what you do. See, regardless of how they do it, my dear, I always say this: give them something to be curious about, because that for you, now that's your business. That's the other side is their business, right? So sometimes some people would say, oh, like I see it when people come to my system, right? So I know the people that are there to just tap on my the structure of my emails, so they can replicate it. Like I've literally had people confess to me, like I was on Clubhouse and somebody came up stage and he's like, TC, I've been on your list for the past 7 months now, and I've been trying to replicate your structure. And I'm like, please, what's your name again? And he's like, for some reason, I'm not able to. Like, there's a way you write, I just can't replicate it. And I said, that's because it is me writing, it's not you. All you need to do is read it, understand how exactly I'm saying what I'm saying, then literally put yourself in what you're writing. Because if you want to replicate it, if you replicate what I am writing, you're literally speaking in my own voice. And literally, the room was about funneling, but it just turned to an email marketing room because and for him to have confessed, I could tell like he was already frustrated because he could not replicate it, right? But for me, like I didn't feel, because apparently he also has a marketing agency, right? Now I said to him, he reached out to me after the room and he's like, TC, can you teach me? And I said to him, I felt that should be your first step instead of trying to replicate what I do, right? Or what do you think? And he's like, how about you come teach my the members of my team, and I said, now you're talking, because obviously you wouldn't be doing the right thing yourself. And that was basically how I came into his team. Right now, this is me. But for you, if you're like, really good, people will come to your space for different reasons. Now that's not your business. Your business is that they buy it. Because you see, people can want to mimic you, but they can never be you, especially when every content, everything you're putting out is you. When it's authentic, it can only be tried to like now, but it can't be. Right now, that's not even what we're talking about. What we're talking about is the fact that you want to drive people in. Think about who these people are. Why would they even want to listen to you or try to pay attention to what you have going on, right? What will get them curious enough as to say, what's she talking about? Let's just go do the gossip. And, yeah, some people want to just, find out, and then they have to pay to find out. That's you making your money. Well, and the thing is that once you keep getting them curious, you keep making money and making money and making money on their curiosity. Now that's fire marketing, right? So you want to sit down and then figure out, how do I evoke such emotions, right? How do I do this with what I currently have? And that's where we keep talking about lifestyle. And I feel like why myself and Allegra, we started talking about, incorporating like your lifestyle into all of these things, is because, we realized that as solopreneurs, people we just starting off, we think that, you want to be perfect, right? I remember I was, when I was like pregnant for the boys, right? After I was pregnant, I think like 6 months later, like everything was fine. Then 6 months later, I started having like this really bad, postpartum depression. And, you could see it on my face. Well, I can see it now, but I didn't see it then. Like my face was like very swollen, like somebody that's like almost 12 months pregnant. Like that's like after I was done, like bringing them out, and I could see it in my eyes, right? But did that actually stop me from creating those videos? No. Like literally, that would have been a very good reason for me to say, I'm not going to do this, because most times I look at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, we can always give ourselves excuses, right? Now, this is how many years ago? Now, fast forward to, was it earlier this year? I still even have it. I don't know if you can see it. I had like this really bad breakout on my face. And I said to myself, like, I do like this lives and all of that. Like, how do I do this? Like, I started to feel very uncomfortable. Like, I think for like days, I didn't look into the mirror because I wasn't liking what I saw. And then I sat down one day and I said, now life is happening, right? Things happen. Now, because life happens doesn't mean my life would change. There's so many people that are relying on me to show up. Now, the gifts that we have, right? These gifts are not meant for us. God has given us this gift, right, to transform lives. Now, when we say things like, I'm not looking my best, or because I say, okay, I have like this acne breakout, or I say this, I have that. Like, there's so many reasons why we can give excuses, right? Now, when we try to give excuses, we are telling ourselves and God, why did you even give me this in the first place? Like, you should have taken it away from me and given it to somebody else, right? Because obviously we are giving ourselves reasons why we do not deserve the gift, the knowledge, the skills that we have, right? Now, I'm telling you reasons why you should never tell yourself no, right? And I remember that I sat down and, I remember I was really crying because I didn't like the way my face was looking. And so I said to myself, it's two ways. It's either you get the new, update your phone, your Instagram live, and get the finest filter, right? Or you just do CapCut Pro, right? They'll give you the very nice makeup. Like I started getting ideas in my head, ways to cover up what I felt was my insecurities. But you see, sometimes, like now, I'm not on filter. I'm like, yeah, you'll be fine because we're growing, and when we're getting old, those hormonal changes happen, and so I can't kill myself, and so I just say that to
Like
myself.
y'all learn, like you can now see, right? Like it's so funny you said that because like y'all getting me the way I am. I think that it's so empowering because sometimes I've seen people in their natural state and I'm like, oh, good. Now I feel more comfortable doing what I want to do because I don't have to be perfect because they're doing it.
Mhm,
They're not
mhm,
perfect. And it's
mhm.
just, it's freeing. And people, I think we have to throw away this perfectionist attitude that just hinders us from showing up, period. But that's not just on social media or things like that, like you're saying, TC. That's in life. I'm gonna talk
Right.
about that. Go ahead, TC.
No, you're very right, right? And why I'm giving these examples is not so you try to zoom on my face to see it, but to let you know that but to let you know that things happen, life happens, right? And when life happens, so for example, Allegra was with her niece. So I'm not saying every day she will be with her niece, but sometimes it could happen, right? So sometimes the boys might creep in here, and then you see them. There's this life that I did. Well, my son just decided that I was going to carry him almost all through, right? Now it was discomforting for me, that's the truth, because he's weighty, right? And I love to like do this and do that when I'm speaking, but I couldn't because my hands were like this, right? But I had to. And the truth is, that was great content. Like, I literally had, I would say, in the month of January, that's like my third really good, high viewed live Instagram live, I tell you, right? And in my head, I'm like, are people actually interested in just seeing my son, or are they interested in what I'm saying? Either way, I don't care, because you're looking at him, you're listening to me, right? You get into my DM and say something like, oh, your son is so cute. You've gotten into my DM. So tomorrow, if I have something to tell you, I have access to your DM. you know but I'm just trying to let you know that with effortless marketing, it's really effortless, right? You want to think about ways that when you show up, getting awareness and driving awareness to your product and your services, it is authentic to you, right? Just think about ways that um you're able to have your business around your current reality. Now, build your marketing around it, right? Now, if you don't know how to do that, instead of you saying or giving 1001 excuses why you feel like your children are the reasons why you can't run your business, I tell you, that's just a very not too good excuse. Now, that's not a valid excuse, right? Now, the excuse should be, oh, I don't know how to, not the kids are the reason, right? So let's start positioning the way we say the things we say, right? Because they're not the reasons why we can't do what we want to do. You are the reason, because you're yet to tell yourself that this is what I want to do. How can I do it? You're yet to come to spaces like this or ask these questions to say, Allegra, what do you think? How do I do this? How can I, um, create content in such a way that even when I'm, playing around my kids, I'm able to tell people you can buy my shoe, or you can buy my ebook, right? Or you can buy my services, or I can coach you to live a healthy lifestyle, right? You can be a health coach, for example, and maybe you're doing like meal plans and all. Your kids be like in your kitchen, right? If you can't get them out of your kitchen and they don't get to like throw all of your oil and all of that away, just make sure that the kitchen is safe. Okay, but you can have them around, right? And then you're creating your meal plan for your clients, doing your videos. Just put your tripod stand there, create your videos. That is authentic video that would go viral. I tell you, you're looking to go viral, right? Do that and see how seamless that is. Try it.
TC,
Yeah, go on, Allegra.
I paused for a moment because I'm just, all these examples came to mind throughout the time that you were speaking. Um, hey, listen, if y'all don't already use your current life agenda, like the things that, like anything, and it could be anything, like some of the examples that came up, like we talked about Oprah, because we know everything from Stedman to Gail to, right, like this is not stuff that's about Oprah magazine. This is not Oprah the TV show. This is Oprah the person that we know. And that's what sells us, right? That's what gets us involved in what she's doing. And some of the other things when you're talking about children, right? And I was thinking, remember the Beyonce concert and how Blue Ivy came out in her limelight, right? And I'm sure, a lot of us are really like, okay, I don't really want to put my child out there. Like I was thinking about this after yesterday's live, and I said, and there's a lot of women that I have actually coached in the past that I had to coach out of this mindset of, I can't show up with my children because, it may be unsafe, or, I just don't want people knowing about my life. And there are ways that you can show up with, clips and flicks of what your lifestyle looks like without showing people everything. And you have to be able to do that in a very creative way. And so that's why, we just need support and we need help. I was actually thinking about some of the things that we did put in strategies before. And some of the things are very simple, TeeCee. Like if you have some of your favorite places that you go to, and you literally, and you can do this on a twofold, right? You can literally go into your favorite coffee shops, your favorite gym, right? Like your favorite grocery store, all of the things. Where's my thing, Cricket? This is pissing me off, y'all. All the things that you can do and that you do every single day. You can literally, and this is what people actually do. This is funny because I see it all the time. They just put the camera up and they just let the camera video record for about 30 seconds of doing whatever they're doing. It could be, you paying at the register. It could be you grabbing your coffee and walking to your table. It could be, what I'm saying? It could be all these different things. And then we have all these media platforms where you can do a simple voiceover of a video like that and use that as content, and then take that content to the next level, right? You can share it on all of your platforms and then have different messages. I had there's one reel that I saw one video that I saw, and it's on like probably like 50 different reels with different messages. And I was like, that was just one video, one 30-second video of this couple doing an activity together, and they just reposted it with different messages that related to their audience, right? That's effortless. It's giving you an opportunity to not only, have this this way of batching, because we do like to content batch, right? So you get a chance to batch your contents. Hold on, TeeCee popped out. Let me get her back in here. Okay. So you get a chance to batch your content when you have less to do. So you're not like so stressed in every single day. What do I want to make? What do I want to create? What do I want to post? What do I want to say? And I want to talk about it from a twofold, because, while you're creating content and you're out at your favorite places, right? And this could be anything, because I do a lot of things in my everyday. Like I just told TeeCee, I think last night I could have did content on that establishment I went to, because I was just like, what? Sugar Bush? What kind of name is that? I could have had commentary. I could have been a narrative. I could have, created content for y'all all yesterday around my niece driving me crazy, because that is something we all relate to. Our kids drive us crazy. People drive us crazy, right? So being able to talk about those things and show content, that could easily be something that, you talk about and just relate back to your brand. And also the other part of it is, we have different lead magnets, right, that we've already created. Like some of the things that I was thinking about was how much physical marketing material are we putting out into the market. Like we have so much digital content that we'll create digital flyers and, digital ads and digital surveys and all these things, right? But then when you go out into the physical market, like if I go out into the actual market to fairs and exhibits and conferences, and go to local stores and see these vending tables. And if you're not out there in that market, and your content, your actual physical marketing content is not out there in that market, you're missing opportunities because it's effortless. I remember there was a campaign we did, and I'll kind of stop here because we're already over the hour when we started, because we started late. But we have about a little over 15 minutes with y'all, so I'm going to finish this out because I got to talk about this. I remember when we were do a lot of sales. I did a lot of sales back in the day, so that's why I know so much about the transition of going from marketing to sales, because we did it every single day. It was like it was effortless because we created a system around it. So it didn't feel like marketing. It didn't feel like sales. People came into the business and they were like, oh, I'm just talking to people, right? But it was a system of marketing and sales. And every single time we would go out into the field, right, we would literally put out marketing content everywhere. Coffee shops, Panera Breads, Chick-fil-A's, like wherever we could. Like we would talk to managers, we would talk to store owners, we would go into, community boards, like wherever there was a public community board where you could post something. And we created a timeline around that, right? Like, and I see it, like some of my clients have done this really well. I just want to like shout them out to that, because it's not easy to get out there. Like we talk about getting on a live. This is easy, like effortless. I just clicked the button and I got on this video. Like that was simple. And now I'm talking to y'all. So you can do that on any platform at any time. You can partner up with other people and say, hey, you have an audience. Can I talk to your audience? Like Oprah did that with her entire marketing strategy. She used Taraji P. Henson's audience. She used Fantasia's audience. She used like that other girl, I can't remember her name, but the other Black girl with the beautiful voice, her audience. She used Tyler Perry's audience. She used everyone's audience. She used the magazine's audience that she put her cover on. She used everyone's audience to spread her message. And it was the same message. It was the same video formats. And some of that same content was re-strategized and put on different social media platforms in different ways. And I was talking to someone and they said, I really don't like to show myself on certain social media platforms because, I just think it's novice. Like I think it's very, immature, basically, right? Like I'm a mature woman. Like I don't need to be on TikTok, right? Type of thing. And my thing is, there are people on TikTok that need your stuff too. And it's not about, because you said it earlier, TeeCee, you said, what do people want from you? It's not about what we want from them, because they're going to pay for the services if they need it. They're going to pay for the products if they need it and want it. But if we're not showing up where we can be right in front of them in the market that they're at, that's why you have to know your target audience. That's why you have to ask questions like, where do they work? Where do they play? Where do they live? Where do they like to shop, eat? Because if you know these things, right, as part of your, customer target analysis, you can actually go into those specific places in your local market, right in your local neighborhood. And that to me is where you start. You don't go across the board, and TeeCee, don't smack me over my head, okay? Because TeeCee is big on digital marketing. So she back there rolling her eyes in the back of her head, because I started out 18 years ago. So, plus. So when I think about marketing, it has evolved. It has transformed. It has become so much more effortless that when people go, oh my God, I just feel like it's so much and I don't know where to start. I'm like, well, get the support you need. Get with me as a coach. Get with TeeCee so she can do it for you and show you. Get with someone at SBA so they can guide you, right? These are all resources that are available to you. But if you're like, it's not that, I just feel like I keep getting stuck and I started and I just stop. Or I hire the coach and I don't do the work. Or I get with TeeCee and she does it. And then when TeeCee's not with me, I just stop. Those are mindset issues. And those are things you have to identify too, because if we're being effortless about our process, why would I go into something where I don't know what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, and I don't have the capacity to do it, but I'm going to do it anyway? That's not effortless. That's struggle. That's complication. That's chaos. That's confusion. It's just a lot of things. And because when we talk about women and how we work and how we like to work in pressure, how we like to be like, oh my God, I was able to do all this all by myself. Baby, the struggle bus is real and it's not cute. I've seen so many women come to the point of just burnout, and I'm like, that is not where we are. And Tory Burch Foundation said it the best. One of the representatives, I can't remember her name, she said, listen, she said, especially as Black women, but women, we are the most to start businesses, the most to lead those businesses and be in positions of power at this time. So we are at the forefront of entrepreneurship, but yet we are the less funded, we are the less supported. And then we go out here and try and put more weight on ourselves when we market ourselves. Sis, listen, when you get up out the bed in the morning and when you put on your clothes, start thinking about what you can video record for that day. When you go to, post your content, start thinking about what it is that your audience really needs to see from that day that you have created. And don't worry so much. And this is where I feel like a lot of people are stuck to, TeeCee. Don't worry so much about how things look. The aesthetics grow over time. You said that yesterday in our live, TeeCee, when we look at people like Donnie Wiggins and we're like, oh my God, Donnie Wiggins, she is like crazy. We look at Pinky Cole, okay? Pinky Cole, I literally had the pleasure of meeting her in person, okay? She's beautiful. She's beautiful. And she has such a great spirit. And that, we love Pinky Cole because she shows up and she tells her story and she's raw with it. Like, she's raw with it. You can't miss her. And so when you think about, situations like that, and just to kind of like fine tune it, y'all, when I met Pinky, she didn't come and say, oh, okay, thank you for following me. Thank you for being here. She was like, okay, really? Okay, cool. What do you like about the food? Which means, did you buy the food? Like, if you if y'all want to make it make sense, okay? It's just being who you are and modeling practices that are going to infuse into your business that become lead generation opportunities. And when you actually take that and start there, and then you get myself and TeeCee involved with the process, that's when you take it and you start strategizing and structuring it. You don't want to do that on your own, because when you start doing that on your own, that's when it becomes frustrating, because you're like, man, I created all this content, I did all this work, and now I'm pretty much stuck and I don't know how to move forward. Well, the reason is because you don't have the knowledge, the education, the experience, right? We bring that to the table. And so I just wanted to say that, because I'm going to pop up that 3-day masterclass for anyone who wants to work and get with us in that space first. Sometimes, being in a program can be very, very intensive. And I know my clients walk away and they walk away with so much knowledge, information. It's like, I don't even know where they at. They do stuff and I'll be like, oh, you were on a TV show? Okay, great. Because they're utilizing those skill sets to see where else in their life they can apply it, right? Data and analytics is something you can apply to every area of your life. Marketing is something you can apply to every area of your life. And so I just wanted to say that, because TeeCee, there's so much we could say about this. I might even continue on with more examples next week, because I'm telling you, you brought up some things where I said, if you just think about some of the most simplest things that you're doing already, even the tools that you're using, and we're like, oh my God, I got all these apps that I got to use. Like, whenever you talk about those apps, wherever you post about your business, you should be able to have opportunities to use those as affiliate marketing opportunities as well. And we're going to talk about that somewhere next week, because I want to deep dive into that. We're missing money because we're using other people's software and systems, but we're not using their affiliate links.
I guess that's another thing we need to think about, especially people that you keep signing up on new platforms or new plans or new tools, and you're not sure, you're not even using it, right? You can as well just figure out how to make money off them, right? At least before you start to figure out what to do with yourself, okay? But I love this conversation, and I feel like this is something that um, we should keep talking about, because once we're able to figure out how to intentionally incorporate our lifestyles who we are, our realities into our lead generation process, I feel like it's going to, thinking about it, Allegra, when we talk about creating lead magnets, right? And we talk about creating easy lead magnets that works. I kind of think about creating lead magnets that speaks to our audience but also authentic to us, right? Now there's this thing with everybody saying, oh, do even when you want to sell digital product, right? And they say, oh, digital product, digital. Do you know what digital product is? Right? Like online products, meaning it's online internet product, right? So it could be anything for you, anything and everything. It could be voice recordings, it could be video recordings, it could be downloadables. You want to create something that is authentic to you, right? So for me, I'm like, instead of you to sit down and give yourself excuses, because I'm not, because why I say give yourself, because sometimes we think we're giving other people excuses, but ourselves we're giving excuses, right? So instead of you, giving yourself excuses why you shouldn't maybe take that next step, create that passive income or even start your business, sit down and think about how leverage you are able to leverage your own reality, right? So for example, let me give an example of what I'm talking about. So if right now you want to, you've been hearing people talk about passive income, start your digital products business, and you're thinking, I can't do this because I'm always busy in my 9 to 5, and I'm always doing this, and I'm always doing that, and I'm always doing everything. I don't have time. But you're gonna be in your car, right, while you're driving, right? You have like Saturdays where you can like record your voice, like, right? All you just need to do is outline, give an outline of what exactly you want to teach people, right? And then record it, right, when it's time. See, you might not be able to show your face because of your circumstance at that particular time. So you can say volume one, okay, 1 1, and then you do voice recording. You could create um courses, training courses. You just set it up and people would buy it, because see, there's so many people that could buy your digital product as playlist, right? And it would transform their lives. Like literally, they will plug their playlist, right? Listen to it while they go to work, do so many things, and then you sell what you have as playlist. Like, it's brilliant. Just think, if you can face the camera and you're not shy, right? You do it. You should don't think about the excuses. Think about what you have and make it work for you. Now, when you think about creating lead magnets, think into that direction as well, because trust me, you have all that you need. All of it. You do have it.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to dig into this. Digital products. Shout out to Sandra, because we know that we have community members that have been teaching a lot of this stuff for some time, right? This is their specialty. And one of the things that I remember when she said she converted over to just like talking about courses to really talking about digital products is because people really don't have a full understanding of what digital products are and how to really utilize them at the top of the sales funnel. And that's really why, we're going to be just digging into this and teaching you all how to structure that for yourself and identify which digital product you really want to start off with. When we asked how Holly asked her question the last time, and she was talking about, oh, don't know where to start, or I don't know what to do first and how to do it. I think that that's a really important question, because for a lot of us being in business, depending on our background, right, we just don't know what, like, everybody's different. Some people don't know a lick of business. Like, they don't know anything about sales. They don't know anything about customer service. You know what I'm saying? Like, these are all essential things that go into running a business. And how can you teach someone how to do the things that you don't know to do, right? Like if
Yeah.
I'm running my business and I have bad customer service skills, that's going to affect my business. And if I've never been taught how to really treat people in a way where I value them, even if, I feel a little personal towards it. Like I've talked to business owners where they're just like, oh man, like I don't like when customers, that's fine. You don't have to like anything. But the bottom line is, how did you resolve that so the customer felt good when they walked away? The same thing when it comes down to sales and other areas. So we have to acknowledge that, yes, there are things, components to business that you're going to always have to be learning. And so I always just encourage people, like, just stay very informed about continuously learning things. One of the biggest things, TC, that I found out, since we're talking about, people trying to figure out, how to market in certain ways and what to do first. When I was talking on a discovery call this week, a young lady was saying how she really had just so many things, and she explained what things she had, and we wrote them down, and we said, okay, well, you have this, right? Like make a list of all the things that you have to offer. And we found out that a lot of that stuff was the same thing, just reinvented in different ways. And it wasn't anything that, but sometimes your brain is not putting together all of these different components, right? And so you're just like, okay, I'll do a podcast, or yeah, I'll just do Instagram. And yeah, I also want to talk about this, so I'll go on Clubhouse. But honestly, like some of the things that we are doing really just needs to be consolidated. And so that's where the support that, I bring as a coach in a lot of times. And then I love it because, listen, we're gonna talk more about this next week, because the affiliate marketing piece, I want to talk about how I started off my business, and that's a lot of where I got my marketing exposure. It didn't have anything to do with, oh my God, I converted everything to sales. No, I was teaching people how to run businesses. But before I could gain their trust, I had to give them something. I mean, that was just what it was. Like people, if we're talking about marketing, we're addressing people's needs and wants. So we have to give them something. And that's why we offer things like, checklist and free e-generate e-guides and ebooks and things like that, right? 7-day trials. But I had to give them what I had. I had information. I had information to grants lists. I had information to affiliate marketing. So I just put lists together. That's it. A whole affiliate marketing list, y'all, of every single platform that you can go to and sign up as affiliate marketer. Take your link and just send it out. And all I would do was I would send out links to like DMs and emails. And I would just tell people, hey, if you have a business, check this out, because this is going to support you in your business. Every single tool on here is a tool that you can use for your business. And when they would click the link and they would sign up, what would happen? I would get conversion. But most importantly, I would get conversion on two sides. I would get conversion on the first side where they would give me their information, right? Because in order to get that list, I need your name, I need your phone number, I need your email. I need something, right? Like I need you to give me something, because I need to know you're really disinterested. And this is I'm making a sale, not one sale, okay? Before in the beginning of the business. And I want to start this off with just talking about that, because we're giving you so many different ways and avenues, and there's so many different people in our community, because we have moms, right? And if you don't want to utilize your family, you don't have to utilize your family to be a part of your marketing campaign, but it is effortless. Because you don't have to, right? You don't have to find time to figure out like, how do I fit this in? It's already there. I love seeing TC's twins. I love seeing your boys come up. Like, honestly, I think, yeah, and this is the hard truth of it. Your audience wants more from you than you want to give. And if we realize that, right, they really do. And we get a little stubborn about it, right? We're like, I'm not showing you my life. Like, but the truth is that you got to show them something. I was watching a family, and you could tell that, they are chefs, and the mom and dad are both chefs, and they love to cook, but they're teaching their children how to cook too. So all they do is make videos of them and their children getting together and doing reels on putting meals together. And they just do these uniform meal preparations, and that's it. And they have videos about, afterwards, they're just eating the food. That's it. And they're in their bedtime attire. They got their head wraps on. There's nothing perfect about them in that video. So it's really interesting how some people can do it and some people don't feel like they can. And the difference is your belief. If you believe that you can get up there and promote yourself and figure out where you want to kind of streamline your message, and how you want to streamline it. Like, do I want to do funny? Do I want to bring, this type of energy, right? Think about all those things, because the truth is that people want more from you than what you're giving them. And when they get it, you'll see it. Like TC, you said it. When your son was in that video, everybody was like in an uproar. Like, oh my God, that's TC's son. And we get to see more about you, more about your life. And that is just how it is. And so I just want to end with that note, because we do have to get out of here, y'all. We are way over. But let us know if you have any questions. I'm going to put up the DM. My thing. Funny, because remember when Aura spilled milk on my laptop yesterday? So now I have to get a new laptop. So the story.
What?
This
Did it mess the laptop up?
Yeah, but I think I knew that was going to happen. So listen, if you go back and watch the live from yesterday, y'all, see how that works.
Sorry.
If you go back and watch the live from yesterday, you can see where my niece Aura spills her milk that she was trying to pour into a actual physical big old wine glass. And I knew she was going to spill it, but I'm in the middle of the thing. And I think this is where we get very, very, thrown out. We're like, well, what if stuff happens? And what if, listen, everything happened yesterday. And guess what? I'm still here. Like if anything could have went wrong in that moment, right? Y'all saw my niece go crazy. Y'all saw she was like, I ain't dealing with y'all, but I'm going to be here, right? But we're still here. And so I want to encourage people to know that, because you can really do it in a way where you can show people your real life if you want, or you can dress it up, make it fancy, make it look really good. But make sure that you are really being very intentional about how you show up. And we'll talk next week about the affiliate marketing. I can't put the link up, but DM us the word masterclass to get into the masterclass with myself and TC. We're going to work with you for 3 days. And in those 3 days, we're going to break down lead generation funnels. We're going to talk about getting on audio and live streams and how to really amplify your digital products. And we're going to break some more things down as we go down this month, because we are now in February. Can y'all believe it? We're now in February.
Funny how time flies.
So DM us the word masterclass to get the information, so we can talk to you about, what it is that we want to support you in. And also, TC, I want you to have last words, because, I told you the story. The affiliate marketing thing is really what got me off the ground. And I used that to leverage my podcast. And I made money, and I built up my email marketing sales funnel and took off. And so when we use our digital products and we look at these lead generation tools, we got to be asking ourselves, what are we using them for, right? Because lead generation in the beginning wasn't to make sales. It was to get my business out into the market so I could make sales. So that's all I'll say. Any final words?
Yeah, I think, when we say lead generation, so many people think they hear sales. So we say lead generation, their minds are telling them, I'm going to make 10K in 1 day. Right? Now, that's not how it works. No, but you're saying lead magnets. Some people are hearing money, make sales, right? But the goal behind your lead generation is to get the word out. Listen, two goals: to get the word out of your offering and the transformation that your product and your service is providing to the right people, and in turn get them interested with their contact information, so you can follow them up, nurture them, build a relationship that would invariably convert into sales. Now that's the lead generation. Right? Now, the entire process of what you do, how you do what you do, is what it is. So it leads you to where you want to go to. But the main goal for every lead generation process is simple: quality leads. Right? Now, it's very important that, we are able to, and when I say quality leads, there are 3, categories of leads, which I'm not going to break down today. But you also want to know that because there are 3 categories of leads, which your lead generation would definitely attract, right? Now, that point between lead generation and lead conversion is where you then streamline further into converting these people to sales. So you want to figure out first how to get the right people into your ecosystem, because even if you have the perfect structure, but the people inside that ecosystem are not the people you want to work with, are not people that really need what you have because they can't afford it for some reason, you would have to start from scratch, because it's a waste of time. Okay. And then it's like, why did I do this in the first place? Right. And that's why this masterclass, it's a 3-day life transforming opportunity, right? I don't call it a masterclass, I call it an opportunity, because then you're able to not only learn, right, because we get to teach you, okay, you also get to figure out what exactly you are doing in your business, how you can use what you have more money for yourself, how you're able to attract the right people, how you're able to connect to them, nurture them. That's the process, right? We're going to teach you during that 3 days. Like literally after that 3 days, that's why I call it a life-changing opportunity, because after that 3 days, you will not be the same. You will be a totally transformed entrepreneur ready to take over the world, because you are ready inside out with the right tools, with the right resources to get you achieving your goal. So, see, you want to learn more, right? So, you want to stick around with our lives. However, DM myself or Allegra the word masterclass so you get to your seats, because we have very limited seats, and the goal is to make sure that we are attending to every single person and meeting your business needs. And so that's why the seats are very limited. So take the take up this opportunity, okay, and just transform your business. That's it. No, that's my final word.
Thank you, TeeCee. I mean, listen, equality leads, I think, is so important. So we're going to talk more about that next week. Just make sure you DM us to get into that masterclass. It is a great opportunity. When we outlined that structure, I was thinking it was something that was, first of all, coming from a place where people were asking a lot about, like, how do I just get on audio and live stream and learn how to promote my lead generation tools or my lead magnets? That was the question, right? But then when we dug deeper, really people didn't understand the process. People understand, how to even operate audio and live stream platforms. They're like, wait, like I got on the platform, but now I'm confused about technology. I want to just say something to TeeCee, because when you were talking about really having quality leads, you can tell if you have quality leads by your click-through rate, CTR, and by other things as well. But that comes up a lot for me because I look through that. I look at the CTR and I'm looking at, all the opportunities that I have. And when you look at those numbers, because I've had my staff on the back end, and some of our meetings, we've had discussions where, in the past, one of the questions was, how do you keep the numbers so high, right? Because you can see where on the back end, people are coming to the website all the time and they're clicking through and they're clicking on emails, and you can see these rates of conversion and you can see who's clicking. You can see how they're moving through your website as well. And, just that alone, we're going to break that down. I'm going to definitely break that down in the workshop, because I want people to understand these terms, right? That's part of the problem. It's not always just, I don't understand what I want to do. Sometimes it's, I don't clearly understand this term and if it even applies to what I need. I don't understand what that looks like. So visually, I want to show you all what that looks like as well. So I'm going to go through visuals. And also, TeeCee, last thing, I was downloading the audio replays from a couple years back that we did about, really attracting your audience and keeping them. We did some audio rooms as well before that. I'm downloading all of those rooms for y'all to put into, the resource database, because we will be offering templates for you to, really utilize and learn from. But I'm telling you, listening to those past audio replays and the things that, were being taught and the questions that were being asked, this is real stuff that, once you figure out that one thing, and tweak that one thing, you're going to get the sales that you really desire. And that's what we mean, because the ultimate goal is to make the sale. We're not saying don't make the sale, right? That is the goal. But when we see that the problem is when people get stuck down the sales funnel because number one, you don't get quality leads. So the people in your database really don't want what you have. They're just nosy, like TeeCee said earlier. Or they just, thought they wanted something and it wasn't the right message. So those are things that we want to work through. And we'll be going through that all in the all in the masterclass. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next week. Thank y'all for listening. Make sure you put your questions in the comments. We will answer those questions next Wednesday on the live as well. That's going to be on Instagram only. That's going to be at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. And that way you get to really kind of like see a little bit more because I might bring some more extra lifestyle content into the picture, y'all. So I'm going to go grab my Dunkin' Donuts and recover from line dancing last night. And I'll see y'all later. All right, bye.